Okay, Joyce Young. Independent right now, not working for any brand right now. But in my past position, I was an associate product developer for doing footwear.
Okay.
So.
How did you end up doing that? What's your background? Do you have an artistic background or?
No, actually, I was in customer service at the brand that I was at, and then I got promoted into development, which was something I never had before, but it was just very unique, nothing I've ever experienced before. It was just, a lot of fun, just kind of like really get to know how product was made and how shoes were made, and it gave you a better understanding of the true value of a product that's being sold at retail when you really got to see like all the work that goes into it, all the materials, all the time, and how it's constructed, and that was like really, really great to learn, and I want to try to continue with that.
For the end goal being what? Do you have an end goal as far as a position in mind, or what this will be? Right.
Yeah, I wanted to go to basically for a developer one position, and I want to kind of take it on from there. But the main goal, getting more intense with the problem solving and trying to figure out how things are working in the beginning, the beginning part. So when the prototypes come in, it's a little bit easier just to tweak it as opposed to, kind of just start from scratch sometimes in the middle.
So how did you learn about the course?
I was looking for a course because I personally felt I had some kind of educational gaps that I wanted to kind of fill in, and so I was looking for courses that would kind of cover the basics, kind of refresh a lot of the stuff, and this seemed to be the perfect course because it started from the materials to construction, like everything, and it also had to deal with like casual shoes, which I hadn't had experience with before. It was all performance before. So that was really good because I wanted to kind of like, not just know how to make one type of shoe. I wanted to learn to make different types of shoes, and because, like how you look at, different products, how something's made, you might bring that idea back to the development of your own personal product, and so that was kind of what I was hoping to do.
And so what have you? So okay, so then you applied for a 210 scholarship.
Yeah.
How did you become aware of 210? And like, how did you become aware of that particular scholarship?
Well, because I became aware of 210 because I was trying to look for a course, something that could, fill that need that I had. Because I found a lot of like, very individual, bespoke, learn how to make your one dress shoe, and that was it. But I wanted to learn something that had more dealt with performance, and this was really the only thing I found that was dealt with performance. Was at a higher level, more than just an individual make your own shoe for the weekend type of course. So
have you had any epiphany moments over the last couple of days?
Oh my God, so many. So many epiphany moments. It was, there's so many things that you look back and you're like, oh, had I known this when I was working on this project, I could have figured that all out, or, oh, now I know what they meant by X, Y, Z. So it kind of like brings so many different things you worked on in the past. You're just kind of like, oh, it's just like, oh, I can do this next time or that next time, and it's just amazing just to, to see how it relates back to what you were doing, or in some people who are working here, what they're currently working on. Like, oh, this could be so much easier, knowing this and that and stuff like that. Yeah, it's great.
Who do you think would benefit most from this course? Is there a particular role or?
I hate to say it's like everybody, but it's truly everybody, because, definitely your developers, your designers could, because everybody needs to know if they're working on something, how it's made in the first place. Because a designer might go, oh, this is a really great, cool line, but it technically may not work when you're trying to put the shoe together, and they need to know that. A developer needs to know, in the front end, like looking at a design, like how can we do this? How is this going to be constructed? And know how the factory is going to do that. So I think it's definitely developers and designers, could definitely benefit from this course for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And so, moving forward, is there another hole in your is there another gap in your education that you're looking to fill beyond this?
It's maintaining, just trying to always keep learning more, building up on more. But definitely for me is always materials, because it's just so huge. So trying to learn more about materials and and how it works together. And because sometimes in some projects you might pick a material and may not be really good for them, so you have to kind of always go back to the drawing board and come back. So, but this has answered a lot of questions that I had, like, when I was doing development, like it answered a lot of questions like, oh, that's what they meant by that. Because when you're working, sometimes it's so fast paced, nobody really has time to explain to you why they're doing it. They're just like, oh, just stitch and turn and that's it. And you're like, okay, that's fine. Or you go so far along the process, you know, you kind of feel you've lost that moment to go like, what does that mean? And you don't look like an idiot trying to ask that question. But here's like the safe space where you can kind of go, what do you mean by that? And you get the answer and it's completely fine. Then you find like 3 other people in the room like, oh, I'm glad you asked that question because I needed to know that too. So that was really good.
Brilliant. Yeah. That's great. That's awesome.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to say to other people who may be applying for a 210 scholarship? Was it?
You won't regret it. I drove 6 hours to get up here. You know, I did, you know, the hotel on my own dime. It's definitely worth it, without a doubt. I mean, this is like the best 5 days. If you were ever unsure about yourself or what you were doing, like in development, this will help clarify a ton of it, or at least get you into the right path to know, at least to know where to start to look for, you know, answers to your problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is, yeah, worth it.
Brilliant. Okay.